It's working. Yay. So, welcome to Any Sunday Songwriters. My guests today are Russ Mason, and I'm going to tell you a little story about how Russ came to be here today. And he's to my left, sort of. And Dan and Faith are to my right, and they are returnees. This is their second time to be on this show, and we are delighted that they said yes, not once, but twice. Oh my God. So welcome to everybody. We are also streaming on Facebook and on YouTube, but we prefer to sing to your shining faces here, so please feel free to join in the Zoom. If you don't have the link, either send me a direct message on Facebook or email me at jan@janseides.com, and I'll be happy to send you that link. So Russ is a surprise and a welcome one, because we originally had Steve Madewell, who is right below my picture on my screen anyway. But Steve unfortunately got into an altercation with another car, and he's not able to play right now, so Russ has come to stand in his stead and live up to his shining reputation. And we are delighted that he said yes. And so, Russ, tell us a little about yourself and play us a song.
There, if you're going to hear me. I am up here in South Portland, Maine at the moment, although I've spent the last, all of my adult life in Nashville, Tennessee. We've been fortunate enough to be able to escape the heat and humidity of Tennessee the last few years and come on up here for the summer. And so we'll be here until mid-October anyway. Steve and I met at Surfa. I think we followed each other at one of the showcases back in May. And I recorded Steve when you played the open mic. I recorded your song. It was a really great performance. I was glad I got to capture it. So anyway, I've been in Nashville for a long time, several decades, and one of the first people I met when I moved to Nashville was a young songwriter by the name of David Olney. Some of you may be familiar with David. He unfortunately passed away just before the pandemic. But I thought I'd play this song of his. I've been able to play David Olney nights the last couple of years in Nashville when they've happened, and this is one of the songs that I played on that occasion. I'm just crazy about my sweet potato. She's round, she's warm, she's sweet as she can be. Lovely skin, lovely eyes, add a little butter and my oh my, now you're talking heaven to me. You can keep your Texas hot tamale, your lobster from the rocky coast of Maine, your crawfish from way down in Louisiana. My sweet potato puts them all to shame, yes she does. She makes me feel like some old alligator, grinning while I bounce her on my knee. I'm just crazy about my sweet potato. My sweet potato's crazy for me. Lovely skin, lovely eyes, add a little butter and my oh my, now you're talking heaven to me. You can keep your Texas hot tamale, your lobster from the rocky coast of Maine, your gumbo from way down in Louisiana. My sweet potato puts them all to shame, oh yeah. She makes me feel like some old alligator, grinning while I bounce her on my knee. I'm just crazy about my sweet potato. My sweet potato's crazy for me. My sweet potato, she's crazy for me.
Yeah.
Thank you. Wow, actual applause.
Yeah. That's why we like people to come here. So, Dan and Faith, reintroduce yourselves, please.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we are Dan and Faith from Charlestown, New Hampshire, which is in the southwest corner of the state. We've been here for
A little over 8 years
now. We escaped Metro West of Boston area when the suburban sprawl took over where we had been living.
Yeah, went from semi-rural to endless suburbia. It's like, yeah, it's time to be somewhere else.
Yep. So we're back in rural.
So we live in a place where there's farms, and traffic jams are usually when a tractor is moving between fields.
And you get stuck behind it. That's my kind of traffic.
Yeah.
And to give you some idea, we'll give you a feel for what it's like to sit on our front porch in the evening. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Dinner's done, sun is set, golden sky fades into gray. From the porch we watch the mist rise from fields across the way. Sunset mutes the cardinal's call, owl awakens in the trees, cricket song is everywhere, fading sunlight stills the breeze. Twilight time in the meadow, looking out across the hay. Twilight time in the meadow, gentle ending of the day. As the glow of sunset dims, valley shows its distant lights. Fireflies illuminate, stars begin to greet the night, dissipating warmth of day. Pull your sweater close around, close your eyes, sit back, enjoy all the meadow's hidden sounds. Twilight time in the meadow, looking out across the hay. Twilight time in the meadow, gentle ending of the day. Winter meadow is crisp and white, silent as the snow drifts in. We enjoy from indoors then, and dream of when summer begins, and dream of when summer begins. Twilight time in the meadow, looking out across the hay. Twilight time in the meadow, gentle ending of the day. Twilight time in the meadow, gentle ending of the day.
Thank you.
I had to unmute to clap.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's always this little pause while we cogitate
Everybody-
upon your song.
Dives for the mute sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the view looking out across the valley from where we
Yeah.
are. We look out on the Vermont mountains.
Yeah, we can see Vermont from our living room.
Nice.
Not Russia,
No,
Not Russia.
no, Vermont. It's a much better view, believe me.
I'm sure. So I don't have a whole lot of rural input here because my take on this, just watching what's happened here in Austin, is if you move out to the country and uproot your life and go to live where it's quiet, the city follows you. And no time was that more obvious than there's to the northeast of us. There was a place that a whole bunch of people moved to be out in the country, and Samsung bought a huge amount of acreage out there. And when they began their building, their plant, they dynamited to lay the cornerstone, as if to say, so I'm not moving to the country because it doesn't stay country. But I do have this, and the reason I want to play this is because this coming Wednesday, we're leaving for Northern California to spend a week in the Redwoods, and I'm very excited to be doing that. It's been one hell of a year so far, and I'd like to get away from it and regroup and just become me again, if only for a little while. Come to the woods with me. Let the trees tell you their secrets. Drink from the river that flows through the forest. Come through the woods with me. Come to the woods with me. Hear the miracle of the bird song. Let it transport you and wrap you in calm. Come to the woods with me. Forget your future, forget your machines, forget your 5-year plan. Just for a moment, remember your dreams and drink in that sweetness as deep as you can. Come to the woods with me. Find the birthplace of ancient wisdom. Let it restore your sweet optimism. Come to the woods with me. Forget your goals, forget your machines, forget that 5-year plan. Just for a moment, think of your dreams and hold on to that sweetness as long as you can. And come to the woods with me. Find the birthplace of ancient wisdom. Let it restore your sweet optimism. Find your heart, find your soul. Let it make you whole. And come to the woods, come to the woods, come to the woods with me. Very nice. Thank you. So we'll just keep going round and round like that until they throw us out of here.
Okay. So let's see. This is the song that I played at the open mic at this year's Surfa. And it was a song that grew largely out of my imagination, but the setting for it is, in my mind's eye anyway, the 5-acre farm where I grew up out west of Chicago. What a sight it was to see my mother would reply when I'd ask her to recall how Granddad used to fly that biplane built for two. He turned his kids into a crew and told them what to do, just as if he really knew. When the auctioneer yelled sold, imagine his surprise. Henry just bid as a joke and laughed, I wonder if it flies. But hadn't Grandma said, I'd love to look down from the sky, so what could Sarah do? When Henry said, let's try. So was Sarah round in front and Henry at the stick. He'd call, come on, Mother, crank, and run, get in here quick. And at first they'd circle slow, waving to their children down below, and then off those two would go to make that old two-seater roll. And when they'd come in for a landing, my mother'd call her brothers from the barn. Well, that old airplane still was standing in the field when they inherited the farm. Last fall the air base had a show, and the Thunderbirds were there. So I took my kids to see their ballet in the air. But before the main event, I told a story so they know I'd really brought them to the show. See an old two-seater roll, to see an old two-seater roll.
Love that song.
Thanks,
That was
Dana.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, I first heard of Russ because I was curating a song circle for Surfa a couple of years ago, and people were sending in songs for us to listen to as we were figuring out who all was going to play in the song circle.
And that's the song that Russ sent.
And it's like, okay, I want to hear that one again. I just love that. The imagery is just so fabulous.
And I was hoping you would play that one today. So
Yeah.
thank you for that.
Well, this one is darker tale, and it includes a farm, and includes what Jan was talking about, which is moving to the country and the country not cooperating with that. This is a true story from across the river from us and a few miles north.
One exit north
Yeah.
on Interstate 91.
Ready?
Yep.
Oh, hang on.
Plug back
Get
in.
the bass plug back in so
Yeah.
that it sounds like something.
I was about to say things were awfully quiet.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's hear that. There we go.
That's better. Now
That'll
we have
work a
the
lot
bass
better.
again.
Born of fire, our neighbor Mount Escutney, standing tall above the great river valley, a volcano went extinct long ago, weathered down to the mountain we know. Next to the mountain is the village of Escutney, not incorporated, just a friendly place to be. For a century, folks worked farms on this strand before the highway came and robbed their land. Most folks sold to the state with no real choice. No one would listen. The farmers had no voice. Just one refused to leave. The herd he'd milk by hand made clear this was where he'd make his stand. It was late at night, 1964. Romaine Tenney turned out the cows, nailed shut the doors, set fire to the barn, and then the house, an inferno the firefighters could not douse. News of the fire spread across the nation. One tree survived the mighty conflagration. By 2021, that old tree was done. Branches were cut down one by one. Where the tree once stood, now there's a plaque to remember the farmer, the one who fought back. Only the stump and flowers remain in memory of a farmer named Romaine. In memory of a farmer named Romaine. Thank you. I'll
My
just
goodness.
explain. So Romaine Tenney was a farmer, lived off-grid, had a dairy herd, he milked by hand. When they were building I-91, they wanted his land. They offered him a ridiculously small sum of money, he refused. They offered him a little bit more money, he refused. They finally got a court order. They took everything. The next day, they took all of his equipment except for him, his cows, and his dog. The next day they're coming for him. At 2 a.m, he went out, turned the cows out, torched the barn, went in the house with hammer and nails,
After tying the dog to a tree.
nailed shut every door with himself inside, and torched the house.
Whoa.
And
Yeah.
there are still people in the area who remember the fire. And when the tree that we believe that he had tied the dog to died in 2021, it was at a parking ride on I-91, and was dropping all its branches on the cars at the parking ride. So the town went to them, or the state went to the town and said, you need to take the tree down, and no one in the area would touch it.
It was part of the memorial as far as everybody was
Yeah.
concerned.
Yeah.
All those years later. And so they eventually got somebody from out of the area to cut it. He left the stump. He said, that's staying.
Yeah.
They planted perennials around it. And there is a plaque, and there's a pavilion with some picnic tables, and there's some signage that's the Romaine Tenney farmstead.
Yeah.
That's-
Well-known
wow.
tale in our neighborhood.
In our little valley. Yep.
Well, it's. What do you say about a story like that?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's progress doesn't and eminent domain doesn't always end well.
Well, yeah, it doesn't. But I know one case where it did, and that I have a song about him that I haven't played in a long time, so I'm going to spare you. But the idea was there's development all around this person whose farm was bought by his great-grandfather leaving slavery and coming to Texas with meager savings that he used to buy this land. And no, this person is not going to sell to the developers, and they take him to court and they just make his life miserable. But his goal is to leave the land for his granddaughter, who he is raising. And eventually, and this is actually very recent. I read the story about maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and last year I read that he'd finally won hands down, and they named the street that goes by his property after him. And I thought, 4 or 5 years late, but okay. So it will forever be named after him now, and he got to keep his land, and I hope his granddaughter has an inkling of what he's done for her.
And by the way, I love that song.
Do you? It's called Not for Sale, and it's the same idea as your poor gentleman who ended up torching his house. So I'm going to do one more about the place we're going in California. Except I can't remember the first words. Hold on 1 second. So embarrassing.
I want to see you blush.
No, I've got this set to make me look my best, so you won't see any blushes.
Your own lyrics are the hardest ones to remember.
No kidding. Here we go. Come here. Blue skies, you wouldn't think that would be so hard. Sunshine, sea foam sparkling on the shore. Tall pines, grapevines, and a blackbird rock on tour. Sunday morning, peaceful as a prayer. It's spring in Point Arena. It's spring in Point Arena, and the birds of California are singing everywhere. Bright eyes, warm smiles in this tiny seaside town. New friends clasp our hands and invite us to sit down. Sunday gathering, picnic in the park. It's spring in Point Arena. It's spring in Point Arena, and the birds of California are singing to my heart. This is how I think paradise is gonna be. But the sun is setting and the fog rolls in, and we must leave. But spring in Point Arena, spring in Point Arena, and the birds of California will sing on. Spring in Point Arena, spring in Point Arena, and the birds of California will sing. It's spring in Point Arena.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wait, I haven't got it. I'm not fast enough with the mute button. Yeah, great song.
Thank you.
Where is it you're going to be in California?
Point Arena, California.
Oh,
There's a
that's
lighthouse
where you're going.
there. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. It's about 30 miles south of Mendocino.
So let's see. This song was written by a friend of mine by the name of Mark Germino, who passed away a year ago this month. And they wanted to put together a memorial event for Mark at the Bluebird Cafe there in Nashville. If you're familiar with Nashville at all, you would know the Bluebird. And in August, and I decided I wanted to go back and be a part of that event, and I texted with Mark's wife Denise and told her I'd been playing this particular song quite a bit and I could play it at the event if there was room for me. But then she wrote back and she said, well, actually somebody else already wants to play that same song. And I said, okay, well, that's fine. But I do have one little story about Mark that I could tell. And she said, great, I'll put you on the program. And I didn't think anything more about it. I just assumed that I would be one of a dozen or more people popping up on stage to tell their stories about Mark. And then I got there Friday before the event, which was on a Sunday afternoon, and checked my phone, and there was the schedule on my phone for the event, and I was there right there on the schedule all by myself. And I was immediately following Vince Gill. and all I had was this little 45-second story. And so, oh geez, I'm in trouble now. What am I going to do? And but then I remembered that I had in my possession a long-lost DVD of Mark, the one time he got to be on the David Letterman show way back when he was 40 years old. And I said, aha, that's what I can do. When my time comes, I will get a DVD player and a television set up in the Bluebird, and that'll be what I do. And it actually worked out fine. I got to introduce the DVD by saying, there's really only one person who should be following Vince Gill here today, and that is Mark himself, and that all worked well. But this is the song that I would have played, written by Mark and our mutual friend Mark Irwin, if somebody else hadn't already claimed it. Gentle winds of change, I hear the sound. It stirs the quiet desert sand. I ride the rails of joy and sorrow down into the canyons of this land. And through my windshield I see fear and faith, rich and poor from town to town. One owns a Bible and one owns a safe, and neither walk on common ground. Tonight I'm driving across America. Mister, can I talk with you? Tonight I'm driving across America. Oh, say, can you see what I see too? I see a black man with his hands held high. I see a fatherless son. I see a policeman who wonders why he keeps his tears locked in his gun. And I see a white man with his eyes blood red, 'cause he's been told what he should feel. And I see too many women cut to shreds, taking half their lives to heal. Tonight I'm driving across America. Sister, can I talk with you? Tonight I'm driving across America. Oh, say, can you see what I've been through? We rise and fall from sea to shining sea, balancing freedom and change, waiting for purple mountains' majesty to be our savior when it rains. Tonight I'm driving across America. Mister, can I talk with you? Tonight I'm driving across America. Oh, say, can you see what I see through?
That's a great
Yeah.
song.
Thank you, Mark
There are some
Trevino.
really powerful lines in there.
Yes, there are.
Definitely.
Mark did not pull punches when he wrote a song. He nailed that one.
Yeah, that's sweet. Well,
All right.
this past February, we got the opportunity to go to the Folk Alliance International Conference for the first time. We figured if it's going to be in Montreal, which is like a 3-hour drive from us, we really ought to go. Which was kind of interesting because we went from 80 degrees and muggy in Florida, and 2 weeks later it was 5 degrees and dry as a bone in Montreal.
The instruments were not exactly pleased, but
I think some of them are still have not forgiven us for that. But one of the things that we loved most about the thing was the keynote speaker was Allison Russell, and she had just come off of playing Persephone in Hadestown on Broadway, and it was it just a brilliant keynote interview. And if you get an opportunity, go to the Folk Alliance International YouTube channel and look for the Allison Russell keynote, because it is well worth listening to. But she said something about someone that she really admired, who she said they really don't understand how wonderful they are. They're like the fish that don't know they're swimming in the water, or a bird that doesn't understand that they're flying in the air. And I just pulled out my notebook and wrote that down because I thought I can do something with that. And so thus was born Shining. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and
yeah, it's in
4.
Yeah, yeah.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. When the world around us is crazy and it seems like it's falling apart, I welcome your calm sense of purpose, your stillness and open heart. Like the fish that don't know they're swimming, like the birds that don't know they fly. Don't you see that you're shining, as bright as the sun in the sky? as we march into times of trouble and tempers flare left and right. I swallow my fear when you're with me and follow you into the light. Like the fish that don't know they're swimming, like the birds that don't know they fly. Don't you see that you're shining as bright as the sun in the sky? How do we keep from hating? How do we hold on to love when forces of anger pull us down? How can we rise above? I welcome your steady guidance on how to cope and stand tall. I pray with your good example we can hold on to hope through it all. Like the fish that don't know they're swimming, like the birds that don't know they fly. Don't you see that you're shining as bright as the sun in the sky? Like the fish that don't know they're swimming, like the birds that don't know they fly. Don't you see that we're shining as bright as the sun in the sky? As bright as the sun in the sky.
That was lovely.
We're just starting to record that one. We've got the ukulele part in the can. But that was probably the favorite of all the ones we've written so far this year.
Yeah.
That's cool. So, by the way, we have Rick Herndon here who puts up backgrounds to go with your song. I don't know if you've been noticing, but that's Rick's superpower, and we are delighted he's joined us today. So I ran across something on Facebook this morning, and having had the month we've had and having had the year we've had, it kind of caught my attention, and this is what it said. On rough days when you feel like you can't take any more, remind yourself that your track record for surviving a shitstorm is 100%. And I plan to keep it up, and that's kind of what this song is about. I'm holding out for something, and I'm not leaving till I get it. I will not be living without a struggle. No one will have to say, don't go gently to that good night. I'll be kicking and screaming and hanging on to the door jambs, protesting all the way that I'm not done with this life. I want to see peace. I want to see joy. I want to hear the truth without the noise. I want to see justice with my own eyes. And then I'll be ready and I'll say goodbye. Maybe. Maybe not. I believe Moses looked like Charlton Heston. And I believe he had a word with God. All I want to know is when is it my turn? 'Cause I'm thinking miracles can't be all that hard. And I want to see peace. I want to see joy. I want to hear the truth without the noise. I want to see justice with my own eyes. And then I'll be ready and I'll say goodbye. I want to see the face of peace. I want to hear the voice But first, I want to see peace. I want to see joy. I want to hear the truth, but hold the noise. I want to see justice with my own eyes, and then I'll be ready, and I'll say goodbye. Then I'll be ready. Nah.
Very good.
Thank you.
Best form of protest. Don't give up.
And that's one of those songs you hope to someday not have to do.
Really. Is it time for Steve yet?
It will be very soon. Let's do this one more round, and then Steve, you can be screwing your courage to the sticking place.
Well, this is, there used to be, back before the great Nashville flood of 2010, there used to be a little music listening room called Norm's River Roadhouse. It was way out west of town, and we would all drive the extra 5 miles to go out there and play, because Norm was a former studio recording engineer and knew what he was doing with the sound, made everybody sound so good. And one of the people that used to play out there was a fellow by the name of Warren Wilkin. And Warren is primarily responsible for this song. But he decided he was done writing it after he had written 2 verses, which meant that the song was just like 2 minutes long. And I kept telling Warren, that song is too good to be over so fast. You need to write another verse. And he said, no, I'm done with that song. It's just a little vignette. That's all I ever want it to be. And so I said, well, would it be okay if I wrote another verse? He said, okay, yeah, if you really wanted, if that's what it takes for you to do it. And so this is my version of this song. And it's also a song that it's probably appropriate for what Steve is going through right now. I often say that it's a song for any of us who may have had at some point had to go through our own personal hard rounds with our own personal, that's what I'm trying to say, with our own personal Mike Tyson or Smoking Joe Frazier. When your lungs are burning and your arms are too, and your eyes swollen shut and he's still hitting you, well, you better have something to draw from, son, 'cause otherwise boxing just ain't no fun. Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's a humbling thing to be taking a beating in the middle of the ring, when you've had enough and you feel like giving in. You gotta keep bobbing and weaving and believing in your second wind. When your legs are wobbly and your aim's not true, that son of a bitch just keeps tagging you, and the crowd gets loud and your world begins to spin. You can see him coming through a blood-red blur, and you think you might have heard him, but you can't be sure. So you bang him on the chin, and here he comes again. You gotta keep bobbing and weaving and believing in your second wind. Now you're in a world of hurt with 2 rounds to go, but you sense his timing's off and his legs are slow, and you can see those welts you've tattooed on his skin. So you dig down deep, you hear your heartbeat drumming. Just gotta land one clean that he doesn't see coming. So you stick and move and try to sneak one in, and keep bobbing and weaving and believing in your second wind. Yeah, I tell you what, it's a humbling thing to be taking a beating in the middle of the ring. So you better have something to draw from, son, 'cause otherwise boxing just ain't no fun. You gotta keep bobbing and weaving and believing in your second wind. Yeah, bobbing and weaving and believing in your second wind.
Excellent advice, well written.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Good collaboration.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we were fascinated trying to figure out what Rick was going to come up with for the background.
Yeah, he nailed it.
That was
You nailed
fun.
it, yeah. All right. Well, this next one is very much my story. I was raised in a household with parents who didn't get along, and a couple in the mid-Hudson River Valley made space for me in their lives by chance when I was 18 years old, and so I would go there instead of going home from college. This is called Thanks for the Memories. Ready?
Yep.
I was writing a song when this song got in the way, a tale from the past that led me here today. I was not yet 20, so many years ago, a friendly hand outstretched to a kid you did not know. Along a country road that follows the river, climb up a winding path to the forest high above. In a small clearing stands a log cabin home and a rustic old barn made of love and wood and stone. So thanks for the memories, for taking me in, for making space in your lives when I needed it. Thanks for your kindness and open hearts. Thanks for the memories, and thanks for this song. Out across the valley, Storm King Mountain stands. A bend in the Hudson embraces from below. The view from this home in this special place belongs to a couple with open hearts and grace. I was young and lonely, searching for my path in life, an escape from city drama and its taxing price. Met upon a sailboat, you said, come and stay. I think back on that kindness every single day. So thanks for the memories, for taking me in, for making space in your lives when I needed it. Thanks for your kindness and open hearts. Thanks for the memories, and thanks for this song. We sailed and worked the gardens, watched the shifting tides, read the waves and currents as storm clouds rolled by. Each day brought new lessons to shape a young man's life. From environment to history, we stood up for what's right. Singing out for civil rights, the river and clean air, always sharing kindness, a good meal's like a prayer. No matter where we came from, we all sang as one. We are singing still, the work is never done. So thanks for the memories, for taking me in, for making space in your lives when I needed it. Thanks for your kindness and open hearts. Thanks for the memories, and thanks for this song. Thanks for your kindness and open hearts. Thanks for the memories. It was a tough one for Rick. That was for, I wrote that as a thank you note to Toshi and Pete Seeger. When I was 18, I met Pete out sailing and got invited to come and stay at his house, at their house, anytime for as long as I wanted.
And he took advantage of that.
For about 3 years, I went there instead of going home whenever I had the chance.
Well,
Wow.
it was tough because I was saving that file over and over again and trying to find it, and it wasn't there.
Yep. But
What a, it's an ill wind, right?
yeah,
You could do a lot worse than having a personal relationship with Pete and Toshi Seeger.
yeah.
Amen to
They
that.
gave me my first book on whole grain baking many, many years ago, and right now I've got bread rising downstairs. I grind my own flour. I bake my own bread. But I learned so much from both of them. I learned how to cook from Toshi.
And
I
any,
hope you still
any-
have the book.
That one,
Sadly, long
long
gone.
since gone.
No.
Yeah, it was actually, I don't even know if it was ever in print. It was a pre-press proof that they had gotten a couple copies of from somebody, and they gave me a copy.
Yeah, and anyone who is Facebook friends with Dan knows full well that he bakes because he posts pictures and makes people drool on their keyboards.
Yeah, I always post pictures of the breads. So usually rye bread, but 100% whole grain, whole wheat, and whole rye. So
Wow. I'm going to have to come sit at your feet at some point. So I'm going to talk about a different part of the country. It came as a complete surprise to me. And simultaneous to this tour that I was on, we were doing a 14 songs in 14 days challenge, which is lots of fun or terrifying, depending on whether or not you have a song today. No prompts, you were entirely on your own. And so I'm in my car driving across western Colorado because I'm due in Salt Lake City at 6 o'clock. And everyone I talked to said, don't take 70 all the way to 15. You'll go like an hour out of your way. Go over the mountain instead. And so I got to where it's Route 6. And I looked up the mountain, and there was a big, bad thunderstorm going on up there. And I thought, nope. So I just kept going on 70 and saw some of the most beautiful country I have ever seen in my life. And I had no idea it was there. It's all red when it's not striated white or, something equally dramatic. And I kept, I'm sure my eyes were as big as dinner plates all the way. And finally, it occurred to me that I should stop and take a picture of this for Andy. So I stopped at the next pullout, and I aimed my phone. These scenes were so monumental, and my phone was so freaking tiny. And I just went, he's never going to get it from this. So I wrote him a song instead, and that was my song that day. And this is it. This is the tires on the pavement. Let me take you west and fill your eyes with beauty. I could show you pictures, but they'd just be small and puny. And you would not feel satisfied, no. You would not feel blessed like if you saw it with your own eyes. So let me take you west. Let me take you west to silent earthly majesty and ever-changing robes and jewels left here by the sea. 'cause you will hear me speak of it. And I will sound obsessed, so there is only one solution. Let me take you west. Let me take you west among the silent brooding canyons and the shouts of pointed rocky spires reaching for the heavens. Spend a day or spend a lifetime, whatever you suggest. Let me show you how I love you. Let me take you west. Imagine this at sunset. Let me take you west.
Yeah.
You captured it.
that.
Thank you.
We've done that drive in the other direction, coming east, and
And oh my God, you are so right about that area.
it's just, yeah, it was a Spotted Wolf.
Spotted Wolf rest area.
Just the view from that was coming toward the Green River. It's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
amazing.
And yeah, you're right. Camera doesn't do it justice.
Not at all. It was just silly. No.
Yeah.
So now we're going to have a special treat, and that is Steve Madewell was originally booked for this date on this show, and some terrible driver made that not possible. But Steve is here, and he has a song that he feels is appropriate for this situation, and I'm sure for many others. And so we're going to hear a bit of poetry, and I'm delighted you decided to do this, Steve. It's a real pleasure to introduce you and to have you here. So you can take over, tell people a little about yourself, and tell us a song.
Gotta
But you're
unmute
muted,
first.
so you can't do it right now. You have to unmute first. Oops, no, the other one.
That wasn't the right button.
No, click that button again so that you come back to us visually, and then click the little microphone.
Maybe he pushed the on-off button.
I don't think there is one.
I think he's on his iPhone or something, so it's
Yeah, he's
the
on his
button-
iPhone.
The buttons are a little bit more annoying because you have to tap the thing in order to get them to come up. So
Uh-oh.
Might have to wait till the next round.
Maybe so.
I hope he's not just talking into the nothingness.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to give it one more shot, Steve. I hope you could hear me. Oh, actually, I can send him a...
Yeah. Why don't you
Chat
do that? I was
message.
just thinking about doing that myself.
Yeah. Ah, good. Now, click the little microphone to unmute yourself. Is that the same way it looks on the iPhone? Nope.
Gone again.
Ooey. Does the
Maybe-
iPhone version
maybe-
have a little microphone as well?
Maybe don't tell him that again.
yeah, it does, but you have to tap the middle of the screen to get the buttons to come up, and so it's just
Ah, okay.
It's a matter of
So-
hitting the
I'm
right
going to
one
send
once
you
you're
an
up.
ask to unmute and just tap that.
I did, right there.
Hey, there
Excellent.
he is.
Yeah.
Okay, we
I
should have done that in the
apologize for
first
that.
place.
Yeah, I was trying to minimize a little my background video filters and all that kind of stuff. And I'm working with one hand. Thank you. It's wonderful to be here. It was awfully nice of Russ to reach out to me and ask me if I wanted to do this. And it was, of course, a great honor for Jan to initially ask me to do this after doing a live stream, I think, on Farm. And of course, it's just delightful to see everybody. And I did have a collision with a semi truck, and it was not the semi truck's driver's fault. I had a mechanical failure in my little gig car, which I just drive around to a local gig. So it was really quite a tragic experience. I spent almost 3 full weeks in the hospital, and I just got home this week. And Russ was kind enough to reach out to me and say, "Hey, I'm covering for you." And by the way, Russ, thanks for that video from Surfa. I had no idea anybody caught that on video. I was just like, holy smokes. So I am I'm waiting to see a shoulder specialist. Right now I have minimal movement and capability in my left hand. So I may be looking at some changes. And so this particular set of lyrics is a song I wrote a few years ago, and I've yet to record it. And it's about someone setting off in a new direction. So maybe you'll get to hear me play it sometime. And if not, thank you so much for enduring me just reading, giving you spoken word. It's called Lily. Lily's voice was crystal clear when she said the words, "I'm leaving." And he noticed a nervous smile was on her lips. He put down his fork, picked up a towel, and he just sat there grinning, wiped the grease from his mouth, and he blew her a little kiss. She had tried this once before. This time there was something more, and he knew that she was really leaving. As he sat there in his chair with static in the air, this righteous world, well, it just kept on spinning. Lily was leaving. Once she overcome the fear, it all became so clear. Suddenly, her whole house was empty. She put all the years away on the shelves they'd safely stay. Not a memory she wanted anyway. She'd sorted it before. It had no meaning anymore. Nothing left to keep her from going. So many years she had tried, all her feelings slowly died. She didn't even know when she had stopped the grieving. Yes, Lily's leaving. She left no time for a fight and stepped into that morning light, unlocked her car, and she was on her way. She had packed the night before, just a few things, not much more. She set out to find a better day. All the years in the past, they weren't altogether bad. She just knew that life would not get better. She left such a heavy load as she drove down that country road, and she wondered, would he even read the letter? She doubted he would even read her letter. But don't fret now. Lily's better. Thank you.
That was wonderful. And we wish you a speedy recovery and all the best. And thank you for coming here to do that. I appreciate it.
Well, thanks, Russ, for the invitation and the suggestion,
Absolutely.
and I'm enjoying myself immensely.
Great.
Right. We look forward to seeing you again down the road, and
Yeah.
we will be heading west in October. So if not before, maybe we'll stop in and say hello.
You got a better part of a year to get ready for the next Surfa.
Right.
So
That's right.
before we move on, Russ,
Yes.
where will you be next, and where can people find you online?
Okay. So my website is russmasonmusic.com. That's probably the best place to look for me, although there are songs available on SoundCloud and other places. And where will I be next? Well, I'll be here in the Portland area in Maine for the most part. I've got a show coming up down in Wells in a couple of weeks, and then one up in Searsport next month. And then come October, I'll be putting together a road trip to get myself back to Nashville for the winter. I've been doing these semi-annual road trips for several years now, as we go back and forth between there and here, and so there may be an opportunity to see me somewhere along the way there. I know I've got one gig already in Massachusetts, but I'm trying to put together a few more as I make my way down south. And so, shall I go play another song?
Well, in just a moment, because Dan and
Oh,
Faith, same
yeah.
question.
Oh, good.
Yep. Well, you can find us at danandfaith.com, all one word, DANANDFAITH. And there are links off there to all kinds of good stuff and all our albums and our newsletter and all of that. Friday, August 8th, we'll be at Luthier's Co-op in East Hampton,
Yep.
Massachusetts. And then the end of August, we are hosting a singer-songwriter stage at the Keene Music Fest in Keene, New Hampshire. And that's August 30th, Saturday, August 30th, which is the Saturday of Labor Day weekend.
Cool.
So we've been hosting that for several years. Most of the Keene Music Fest, you apply to the festival and they assign you a stage. But friends of ours started this originally to do something that was pure singer-songwriters, pure acoustic. And
we're kind of a guerrilla stage.
yeah, and so it's at a bookstore in Keene on their patio. There's a cafe in the bookstore, but it's out on the outside patio as long as the weather permits.
Yep.
And it's always a good time. We'll play a set, and we've got a bunch of people lined up.
That's cool. Okay, and you said where you're found online, yes?
Yep.
Yes.
danandfaith.com.
Okay. And you can find me at janseides.com, spelled exactly like you see it in my little cell here. And the next one of these shows will be August 10th, and it'll be Frank Letkowitz and Ann Ramsey. And I'm looking forward to that because it promises to be a fine show. But the very next thing I'm doing will be at the Ravino Winery it's sort of in Ukiah, California. It's on the highway. Technically, you've already left Ukiah when you get there, but it's as close as makes no difference. And that will be on Friday, August 1st at 7 in the evening. And I am very much looking forward to that because they have some wonderful wines. They really do. So, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And Russ, now.
Okay. Well, this is a relatively new song. Been playing it for a few years, I guess, but I had the music chord structure for it for quite a while before I guess I'd lived long enough to figure out what it ought to be about. And then that Shakespeare guy showed up. He wanted to get in on the second verse. I gave him a couple lines. So many ways we might have made an early exit, just looking for a thrill. Hitching rides and playing chicken, but here we are alive and kicking still. One risky road too many, and our future chances never would have come. Scaling heights without a net, we were equal parts invincible and dumb. Our long journey's shorter now, but we're luckier than some. Though April brings the gentle rain, rough winds do shake the darling release has all too short a date before it fades away. But the poets and the writers, the sculptors and the painters persevere to share their works of beauty or their pain or humor while they're here. Our long journey's shorter now, and we savor every year. Don't you love to hear the morning birds that sing before the dawning of the day? As the hollow sky fills up with light, their chorus sweeps the chill of night away. When once again the sun appears, you'll hear their songs declaring bright and clear. We're still among the living, the dark is gone, we did not disappear. And while our journey may be shorter now, we're still here.
Yeah.
Yes, we are. That was wonderful.
Thank
It
you.
was.
Yeah. All right. So, back in the early COVID years, we were still running attempting to run a songwriter showcase that used song prompts. And we stopped doing it after a while because we discovered that getting people to put song prompts into the chat online was like pulling teeth.
Yeah, when we did it in person, we'd hand out slips of paper and get people to.
And you can stand over them and wait for them to write something down. It's really hard to do that online. And we had one right after the George Floyd was murdered. Someone had put in a prompt of "My name is George," and actually Jan was one of the songwriters for that one, and our friend Chuck Williams. And Chuck wrote a song about George Floyd. Dan wrote a song that we're hoping to get into one of the rounds today. Jan wrote a delightful song for anyone who's a Nancy Drew fan like I am, which I love that song. And this was mine. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... My name is George, no one knows, but I feel it in my heart, where I know that it won't show. I face the world, it cannot see. Even those who love me, they look, but they don't see. They just see Emily. My name is George, I must not tell, especially my father, my life would go to hell. I'd be disowned, tossed out the door. So I keep pretending, knowing in my core, I'm not Emily. I never felt right as a girl. That's not who I am. Maybe when I leave for college, then I'll be free to be me.
I didn't know. I found it in a note he left that said he had to go. My little girl is now my son. It takes some getting used to, but I'm telling everyone he's George, not Emily. I love you, George, I always will. There's nothing that can change that.
You call me George? I love you, Dad. I thought that you would hate me, but you don't, and I'm so glad you called me George.
Yes, I'm telling
Dad is telling everyone my name is George.
I absolutely love that.
Yeah, thanks for the note asking for it. I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
That has actually been getting some press around the world. We did some promo work on it, and it's gotten press in the UK, in Australia, all over the US, and the song is being used in a trans podcast out of the UK, along with various other
Oh,
songs.
how wonderful.
So we're really thrilled.
And we play that in just about every show across the country, including and especially in places like Florida and Kansas and Missouri. And, you know, the redder the state, the more likely we are to do the song, to be honest.
Well, if you ever get back here, they need to hear it round here.
Amen.
Yeah. Oh,
And we would play it. So
absolutely.
Thank you. So this is apropos of nothing, just kind of on my mind. Old friends, they call you on the phone sometimes, or show up on your doorstep and say, remember when? Unpack their adventures, hang them in the closets of your heart. Old friends, they write their letters years too late, but you write back anyway. They wake you late at night, calling from the airport in between flights. I used to worry everyone was leaving and soon they'd all be gone. But I was wrong, 'cause life goes on. Sooner or later they all came home. Old friends, no one could measure or compare the treasure of these memories we share. And I will always care for old friends. I used to worry everyone was leaving and soon I'd be alone. But I was wrong, 'cause life goes on. Sooner or later they all come home. Old friends, all our paths will cross again, like multicolored ribbons and laced through time and space. And there will always be a place for old friends. Ooh.
nice.
Thank you.
Wonderful. And that reminds me of, so I've been spending many a happy Friday afternoon at a Nashville dive bar called the Idle Hour. And this past April, one of our songwriting friends, Ray Sisk, passed away rather suddenly. He'd been in deteriorating health, but it was still quite a shock to everybody that when he did pass away. And so we had a celebration of his life there at the Idle Hour. And one of his songwriting partners, our mutual friend Tom Case, has a song that he played at that event called You Can't Make New Old Friends. And it was really a great moment in that afternoon. And I got to play this next song, which was written by Ray and a buddy of his, Craig Mundy. And this is one that he taught me a year or so before he passed away, and I was really glad to be able to play it at the event. And by the end of the song, the whole room was singing along. It was quite a moment. If I were down in Key West, the sunshine would cheer me up. If I were out in Las Vegas, I might run into Lady Luck. If I were lonely in New Orleans, there's 1,000 things to do. But I'm in Memphis, Lord, in Memphis, ain't no place to lose the blues. I know I'll never get over you, baby, as long as I'm in this town. While Beale Street is oozing with rhythm and blues, I'm just dragging your memory around. Somewhere tonight, the moon is just right for getting me over you. But I'm in Memphis, Lord, in Memphis, ain't no place to lose the blues. If I could do it all over, I'd love you just the same. Even though your leaving's about to drive me insane. You know, tonight I'm gonna dream about the day I'm finally over you. I always do, but I wake up in Memphis, and Lord, in Memphis, ain't no place to lose the blues. I know I'll never get over you, baby, hanging out in this town. While Beale Street is oozing with rhythm and blues, I'm just dragging your memory around. Somewhere tonight, the moon is just right for getting me over you. But I'm in Memphis, Lord, in Memphis, ain't no place to lose the blues. Yeah, I'm in Memphis, Lord, in Memphis, place to lose the blues.
Bravo.
Nice.
Nice.
Thank you. Ray Sisk. And Greg Mundy wrote that.
Well, that's fabulous. We decided that well, there's a few more instruments in the room that haven't been made use of yet. So we chose the two that are most persnickety as far as tuning goes.
So we spent most of that last song tuning.
While listening, but we were tuning the banjo and the mandolin.
Yeah.
Both instruments. The banjo is basically impossible to tune because you're tuning 5 strings against a drum. So when you change any one of them, they all change.
Yep. And the mandolin, a dear friend of ours who plays mandolin says that, mandolin is the Italian word for out of tune.
So always a challenge.
Yeah.
So this is a song that's on our, many of these have been on our new album, but this one is one that I wrote for our grandniece.
Little Isabella Gwen, who's lovingly known as Izzy in the family.
We visited, they live in north of Atlanta, and we visited them years ago on our way back from Florida.
When she was about 2,
Yeah.
maybe,
I
2
think
or
she's,
3.
I think she's 12 now.
She just turned 12, yeah.
And I pulled out the banjo, and she and her older brother, who was only a few years older, as soon as I started playing the banjo, they were dancing. It's like, I can do something with that. So this is called Dance Izzy Dance. Ready?
Yep.
Dance, Izzy, dance, spin to the music. Dance, Izzy, dance, all through the day. Dance, Izzy, dance, the future is waiting, waiting to see what young Izzy will be. A doctor, a nurse, healing the wounded, finding a cure to help all mankind. It's all up to you. Follow your passion, follow your dreams wherever you go. And dance, Izzy, dance, spin to the music. Dance, Izzy, dance, all through the day. Dance, Izzy, dance, the future is waiting, waiting to see what young Izzy will be. Maybe an astronaut flying to Mars, or an astronomer studying stars. It's all up to you. Follow your passion, follow your dreams wherever you go. So dance, Izzy, dance, spin to the music. Dance, Izzy, dance, all through the day. Dance, Izzy, dance, the future is waiting, waiting to see what young Izzy will be. A teacher, a singer, a lawyer or chef, helping the homeless, the blind or the deaf. Whatever you do, do it with passion. Whatever you do it with love. Don't rush to grow up, that way is folly. Live every day with laughter and joy. We're here to cheer, to listen and help you. The future is yours, we'll watch and be proud. So dance, Izzy, dance, spin to the music. Dance, Izzy, dance, all through the day. Dance, Izzy, dance, the future is waiting, waiting to see what young Izzy will be. Waiting to see what young Izzy will be.
And by the way, Izzy is absolutely mortified that there's a song about her.
How old is Izzy now?
She's 12.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the mortified age.
On the album, Tracy Grammer played fiddle against the banjo instead of the mandolin. And I had sent her the song. She said, "Oh, Izzy must love this." And I said, "Well, actually, Izzy is mortified there's a song about it." And she sent back an email that said, "Oh, poor Izzy."
Yeah, her parents love it, but yeah, and someday she may appreciate it too, but no, not as
doubt.
a preteen. No.
Yeah, I remember I put my daughter to bed one night when she was 12, and the next morning there was somebody new there. It happens that fast.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hormones. It's a wonderful thing. Except when it isn't.
Yes, which is most of the time. So we've sung about somebody leaving and somebody arriving. So I'm going to talk about something in between. I keep a bust of Beethoven before me on the piano. I keep a bust of Beethoven to remind me that even in calamity, tomorrow still holds possibility. So I keep a bust of Beethoven where I'll remember. I keep a bust of Beethoven where I can see. I keep a bust of Bach before me on the piano. I keep a bust of Bach to remind me that though the task is difficult, it still can yield a fine result. So I keep a bust of Bach where I'll remember. I keep a bust of Bach where I can see. And Chopin, he could not go home. And Mozart died in poverty. So many of them died so very young, and still they left us so much beauty. So I keep a bust of Brahms before me on the piano. I keep a bust of Brahms to remind me that though your heart is breaking, your art can be your saving grace. So I keep a bust of Brahms where I'll remember. I keep a bust of Brahms where I can see. I keep a bust of Beethoven, and I keep a bust of Bach, and I keep a bust of Brahms where I can see.
Oh, cool.
That's fabulous.
That actually brings back memories, because when I took piano lessons as a kid, every time I got to a point where I was getting really good with something, my piano teacher would give me a little plastic bust of the
Those
various...
are the ones that inspired it.
Yeah,
The thing
and, yeah, it's fascinating. Thank you.
The thing about Brahms is not a lot of people know it. I mean, they know about Beethoven being deaf, and they know about Bach doing the incredible time after time, but Brahms was in love with Clara Schumann. But Robert Schumann was his best friend. So he lived in their house. He never spoke a word. How we know about this, I'm not actually clear on, but he must have written it down somewhere or something.
guessing.
But even after Robert Schumann died, after a stay in a mental asylum, Brahms would still not declare himself.
Wow.
And Clara went to her grave not knowing.
Not knowing.
That's sad.
Yeah.
I know. And
Yeah.
yet, the music, oh my God.
He put the love into the music, I guess.
I guess.
Yeah. That's cool.
So, now that I've depressed everybody, Russ, you want to take...
I thought I'd dig out this old one. When I first moved to Nashville, the first apartment that I rented was just a one room with a little kitchenette in it above a dentist's office, but it had this really extra tall ceiling. So there was all this wall space. And of course, I had nothing at the time to put on a wall. It stayed empty, just sitting there.
I need to interrupt for just
Yeah.
a second and mention that this is very likely our last round.
Okay. And so I sat there staring at that empty wall. And after I'd stared at it long enough, I came up with this song. Well, Thomas has a talent, though he's never used it much. He had better things to do, he'd say, than paint a canvas with a brush. There were beers to drink and thoughts to think, and so what's the rush? He'd say, anyway, if I never paint again, nobody's missing much. We used to get around together. I remember Thomas liked to walk. It never seemed to tire him out. I'd mostly listen while he'd talk. Where Thomas got his strength is still a mystery to me. People say he's gonna be a good one. Well, you just wait and see. And then Thomas went to Venice to see the old world for himself. I think he thought it might renew him, though his paint stayed packed up on the shelf. He wrote back, it's been worth the trip, there's a feeling in the air. Now I know I've got it in my head, he said, if I can get it out of there. Now I know I've got it in my head, he said, but can I get it out of there? Well, he wrote and told me where he's staying now, so I called him up last week. They said they'd have him call when he got back. He'd just gone out to eat. I said to say I've got a brand new place with a big old empty wall, and I'm saving it for my friend Thomas, but Thomas hasn't called. I'm saving it for my friend Thomas, Thomas hasn't called.
Oh, that's just
Lovely.
beautiful.
Thank you.
That's outstanding.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. Well, the one instrument that hasn't made an appearance yet is my Appalachian Mountain dulcimer. This is a Warren May made by Warren May
In Berea, Kentucky.
Kentucky. And we went into Warren's shop, and there was a sign in the shop that had building a dulcimer a day for 25 crossed out, 30 crossed out, 35 crossed out, 40 crossed out, 45 years.
With a plus after it.
Yeah.
6 days a week, he finished a dulcimer every day in the shop. And he would always have several in production, and there were never more than about 10 in the shop, because as soon as they were built and ready to go,
Somebody would buy
people
them.
had bought them.
And I went in that day and I fell madly in love with 3 of them. And we went back the next day with Dan's guitar so that we could find out which one sounded best with his guitar. And one of the 3 had already sold. The second one sounded terrible with Dan's
Just
guitar.
clashed,
Just
yeah.
totally clashed. And then there was this one. And we walked out with it, and I thought it was particularly lovely because if you'll notice, the sound holes are hummingbirds. And my Jeremy Seeger dulcimer, which is custom made for me, has hummingbird sound holes. And so I figured that this was meant to be.
Yeah.
And the hummingbirds are in honor of my mother.
So I wrote this song 10 years ago, and without having to look at the sheet, I know it's 10 years because there's a verse that mentions newborn twins, and two different sets of twins, one in Massachusetts, one in Kentucky, were born within weeks of each other and are the reason why it mentions twins.
And they're now 10.
And they're 10.
Which is kind of freaky.
It's called Love is the Song. Easy sing-along chorus. Please join us. Stay muted, but please join us.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yep.
Each of us is damaged. Each of us is flawed. We do our best, try to be exactly who we are. Acceptance is believing in where we are today. Love is the answer. Love is the song. Love is the answer, no matter the question. Open your heart to the universal song. Love is the answer to any question. Love is the answer. Love is the song. Welcoming newborn twins on their first day. Pleasure and pain will come along the way. The future is theirs. Give them time to play. Love is the answer. Love is the song. Love is the answer, no matter the question. Open your heart to the universal song. Love is the answer to any question. Love is the answer. Love is the song. Young lovers out for a stroll on a starry night. A gentle hug or smile, a laugh of delight. Working together, their dreams take to flight. Love is the answer. Love is the song. Love is the answer, no matter the question. Open your heart to the universal song. Love is the answer to any question. Love is the answer. Love is the song. Play that. Holding a hand as aging eyes grow dim. Your gentle smile when the world just seems so grim. A good life is ending, another soon begins. Love is the answer, love is the song. Love is the answer, no matter the question. Open your heart to the universal song. Love is the answer to any question. Love is the answer. Love is the song. Love is the answer. Love is the song.
Yes. Yes.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
So I'm going to do a love song too, but it's different from that. Because it was written from a prompt, and the prompt was, if you could do it over again, would you? if I had it to do over, a mulligan for all of those mistakes. Maybe I would take it slower and think about the reason I should wait for the other shoe. But then I wouldn't be with you. If I had it to do over, a second chance to turn and walk away from all the careless promises and all the times my trust was betrayed, 'cause I didn't have a clue. But then I wouldn't be with you. You are the reason I still believe a guardian angel watches over me. So if I had it to do over, an opportunity that few receive, I could be lying here tonight, dreaming dreams that probably would never come true. So I wouldn't follow through, because then I wouldn't be with you.
He had the proper response.
So thank you once again for saying yes and being here. I
Thanks for
can't
having us.
begin to tell you how I appreciate it and how much I've enjoyed the last 2 hours.
This was great fun. Thank
yeah.
you, Jan.
You're entirely
thank you.
welcome. And if Steve were here, I'd tell him get better fast so that we can reschedule him.
Yes.
And I'm going to say goodbye to our friends on Facebook now. Thank you